Welcome back, everyone. This is the second plenary on the fourth day of IST-Africa 2021, and it's my pleasure to introduce a presentation from Maria Cristina Russo on behalf of DG Research and Innovation of the European Commission. Maria is Director for Global Approach and International Cooperation in Research and Innovation, and her presentation is called Horizon Europe, Building on EU-Africa Cooperation. And then after her presentation, I'll raise a couple of issues that her colleague Piero will be addressing. Thank you.
Good day to all of you in South Africa from Brussels. It's a pleasure to be with you, together with the Deputy Minister, Honorable Batmanamela, Deputy Director Generals Mimboreni Mufre, and Dan Dutoit, Vice-Chancellors and Directors. When I speak about Africa, I always underline that Africa is a key partner of the European Union, a partner with which we work well and we do achieve a lot. Scientific cooperation between European and African researchers is a field where we have sown, cultivated, fertilized, and weeded together thanks to our long-standing links. Now it is the moment to harvest and to use all that for the benefit of our people and of our economies. By cooperating in science and innovation, both the EU and Africa have the power to work together to find solutions which can solve the world's most relevant challenges. I think about COVID-19, for example, food security, climate change and the environment, and last but not least, of course, to navigate the digital transition. I'm really convinced that a multilateral and comprehensive approach in research and innovation is the only way to address more effectively the global challenges we are facing today. First, I would like to take a step back and give you a political picture. I would like to recall that Africa is a strategic priority of the European Commission, as stated by our President, Ursula von der Leyen, who went to visit the African Union Commission headquarters in Addis Ababa for her first trip outside the EU when she was nominated President of the European Commission. Last year, in March, the European Commission adopted the comprehensive strategy with Africa, in which the Commission committed to supporting the development of a knowledge society and economy-based research, innovation and education in Africa. Indeed, research and innovation is part of a positive cooperation agenda between the EU and Africa, and it supports the participation of the continent in the global exchange of knowledge as a crucial path to enhance the sustainable development in Africa and anywhere else. In this framework, I would like to remember that last year, in July, together with the African Union Commission and our member states, we organized the first ever EU-AU Research and Innovation Ministerial Meeting, which was co-chaired by the EU Commissioner for Research and Innovation, Mrs. Gabriel, and by the African Commissioner, Mrs. Agbor. In this event, it was agreed to intensify cooperation along the four pillars of our cooperation, which relate to public health, green transition, technology and innovation, and capacities for science. South Africa hosts this event, so it is important for me to highlight that the South African entities are very present in our programs. They have participated more than 200 times in collaborative grants, in Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions, and those of the European Research Council under Horizon 2020, receiving more than 52 million euros of direct EU contributions in terms of total participation. South Africa ranks fifth after the US, China, Canada, and Australia as third countries' participation in the Horizon programs. And in terms of Horizon funding, South Africa comes second after the US. Second, I would like to move towards the EU-AU cooperation. Let me remark the trademark of our cooperation, which is the African Union-European Union high-level policy dialogue on science, technology and innovation. The high-level policy dialogue on science, technology and innovation was adopted at the second Africa-EU summit in Tripoli in 2010 as an important element of the joint Africa-EU strategy. This dialogue serves as a platform for regular exchanges on research and innovation policy and aims to formulate and implement long-term priorities to strengthen Africa-Europe innovation cooperation in science, technology and innovation. It is co-chaired by the European Union, by the European Commission, us in DG Research and Innovation, and the African Union, by the member state holding the chair of the African Union Specialized Technical Committee on Education, Science and Technology. And the high-level policy dialogue brings together the science and technology representatives from the 27 European Union member states and the 55 African Union member states. In the frame of the high-level policy dialogue, 4 long-term co-owned and jointly funded research and innovation partnerships were endorsed. They notably relate to food, nutrition, security and sustainable agriculture, the first one. The second one to climate change and sustainable energy. The third to innovation. And last but not least, to health and the European and developing countries clinical trials partnership. Substantial investments have gone through for implementing those partnerships, and without going into all the details, I would like to summarize the main results. First of all, the EU-AU Research and Innovation Partnership on Food and Nutrition Security and Sustainable Agriculture. This had a substantial joint investment of 381 million euros that has already been channeled through several instruments, notably through Horizon 2020, through the European Development Fund and Development Cooperation Instrument, through the ZIRA, through the African Union research grants, and the EU and IU member states funding. Future direction of this partnership is to explore food systems governance and transitions, including agroecological approaches, as well as the One Health approach, which is based on a systemic perspective linking ecosystems, animals, and human health as a basis for their future exchanges. Secondly, the European Union-African Union Research and Innovation Partnership on Climate Change and Sustainable Energy. This had a joint investment of 84 million euros that has already been channeled, plus a 40 million euros call for demonstration projects in Africa, introduced in the Horizon 2020 Green Deal call of the European Commission, with selected projects which will start in the next months. The great participation deserves to be mentioned, with 142 proposals received, with a total of 2,200 participants involved, 45% of which from 44 African countries. So very important African participation to this extremely important Green Deal call. Thirdly, innovation cooperation. Innovation cooperation is expected to play an important role in the economic recovery of both continents and to foster and strengthen engagement of industry and of the private sector. The Africa-European Innovation Partnership was launched in this respect as a pilot in 2019 to network European and Africa's innovation ecosystems, such as incubators, startups, and accelerators. It also supports the high-level policy dialogue innovation working group with 6 European and 6 African experts that was set up to guide the policy dialogue towards future joint priorities in innovation cooperation. The final conference of the Africa-Europe Innovation Pilot Program is foreseen on the 29th and 30th of June, during which also the successor instrument, the Enrich in Africa, will be presented. And lately, but not less important, an additional area of the collaboration on research and innovation is public health. The well-known European and Developing Countries Clinical Trials Partnership, the EDCTP, with 1.5 billion euros of joint investment, builds the capacity of sub-Saharan African countries to conduct robust clinical trials. It will be relaunched in the new Horizon Europe program under the name of the Global Health EDCTP3 joint undertaking. Third, let me now introduce the Horizon Europe, which will be the successor to Horizon 2020, the next EU research and innovation program. It will be the main tool for addressing the global challenges in terms of research and innovation over the next 7 years. The international dimension of Horizon Europe will be very prominent, as it was for Horizon 2020. Horizon Europe will be fully open to the participation of researchers and research entities from outside Europe. It will have a budget of 95 billion euros, and it will remain, in fact, as Horizon 2020, the biggest multilateral research and innovation program in the world. We have a very important novelty in Horizon Europe, and I'm very glad to announce that in this fora. Following the ministerial meeting that we had in July, we have developed a specific transversal call which targets Africa. With this Transversal Africa Initiative, we have set up a dedicated budget amounting of 300 million euros, and within this budget we are planning an ambitious program of calls and events covering all the areas of enhanced cooperation that we have with Africa. This transversal initiative will be announced very soon in an event that we are organizing. Finally, before concluding, I would like to tell you that the international cooperation strategy, which underpins the EU research and innovation policy and the EU research and innovation programs, is being updated, and the European Commission is about to adopt a communication on the global strategy to research and innovation, which will put together the different elements for our activity at international level, and also set the direction for the future here. No need to say that Africa, which is for us a very important strategic partner, will figure very highly within this global approach to research and innovation that the European Commission is due to adopt on the 18th of May. And in terms of conclusions, I really would like to thank all the stakeholders and the members of the scientific community participating in the event today. But my special gratitude goes to the organizers, Professor Cunningham, and to my good colleague and dear friend, Dan Dutoit, who invited me to be here with you today. Thank you very much.
So to complement Maria's intervention, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Piero Venti, who's the EU Science Counselor to the African Union. So Piero, would you mind sharing some more information about ongoing results from the Africa-Europe Innovation Partnership? Perhaps you could also share some more details in relation to the Transversal Africa Initiative that Maria briefly mentioned. And when do you expect there'll be more information publicly available about Horizon Europe calls targeting Africa?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be with you today. And thanks, Paul, for the kind invitation on behalf of Director Cristina Russo and on behalf of the European Commission DG RTD. Well, replying to your questions, I will start from the last one. When information about Horizon Europe will be available? Well, we plan to launch the program at the end of this month. And we are foreseeing a flow of information on this program at different levels. First of all, we plan to have two big events in Africa, one for the Mediterranean Africa, and the other one mainly focused on the Horn of Africa. Well, this is because I'm located in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, and for me, it's a good opportunity to have a hybrid event over there, virtual and hopefully also in person. Then we plan to have three big events, one in English, one in French, and the other one in Portuguese. But then it's also true that we plan to have also national events and that will be, for the main part, coordinated by the EU delegations in the countries. And there will be also several events with technical specific focus on different issues. That say, well, the Transversal Africa Initiative will be part of this activities, and as Director Russo mentioned, we plan to have a budget of around 300 million euros, including 30 topics that will be presented specifically to the African community. It's also important to set up this kind of events with the aim to create links, to create networks with the European scientific community. That, by the way, will be mainly in charge to coordinate projects, to draft proposals. So it's in my view, very important for the African stakeholders to always to keep touch, to keep a link with the Europeans. And well, I think well, the last of your questions I have to reply is concerning the innovation partnership. This is also an important tool that we use to put in touch African and European startuppers, innovators in different areas. Obviously, the main focus nowadays is on public health, and on the obviously Green Deal with a connection with agriculture and climate change. So the focus was mainly there, also with a special attention on digital. We what kind of results we got? We put in touch several European and African innovators. It's in this kind of projects, it's always difficult to quantify the results, because we can have important cooperations that are softer, exchange of data, or really creation of really common activities. But what is true that the results were very positive, and that's the reason we started also the new project Enrich Africa. Enrich is a brand that we used all over the world, and Enrich Africa, it's here to allow the European SMEs to get in touch with the African ones, and to have the opportunity to cooperate together. Well, for the moment, it's over from my side.
Thanks, Piero. I mean, it's been very rewarding for Miriam and I and all the IST-Africa partners to see how things have progressed so rapidly over the last 20 years in terms of strengthening the research and innovation capacity in an African context, and doing it in a mutually respectful and beneficial way. I mean, it would be very helpful if, when you have information available, you could share more details about the online aspect of the Horizon Europe launch that you're going to do in Addis, so we can share that with the IST-Africa community, because I'm sure there are many members of the community that would be interested, and specifically the IST-Africa partners. So can I open to the floor if anyone has any questions that they'd like to pose to Piero? Torello, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I did miss, a significant part of the presentation, and maybe it was covered, but I'd like to ask, in terms of the gender lens, how is, this initiative ensuring that there is as much equal participation, especially from the females' perspective in all the programs that they're running under this Horizon Europe initiative?
Thanks for this question that is very pertinent. Well, the European Union is always taking a lot of care about gender issues, and this is also one of the parameters to evaluate a proposal. The participation of female scientists, female coordinators, and well, this is one of the issues that we always take into account. So this is just to reassure you that we take very special care about gender balance.
Thanks, Piero, and thanks, Torello, for the question. Does anybody else have any questions you'd like to pose? Well,
from my side, I would like just to inform that we launch a platform that is called EUR-Access, EUR-AXESS, that is a platform that is aiming to put together stakeholders, scientists, students, Europeans and Africans, and offer opportunities to find interesting jobs in Europe and in Africa. And well, it's as any platform, it's important to have a relevant number of participants, so that the exchange of information is going to be effective. Well, this EUR-Access Africa, this is the name, will be launched in at the beginning of next year. But the website, it's already open. I'm sorry, now I cannot provide exactly.
No, it's fine, Piero, but thank you for mentioning that. So if you can send us the details, and Miriam and I will publish it on the IST-Africa portal, and we'll include it in the conference report as well, so people can start following up in advance of that being open.
I will do it. I will do it. Super.
Excellent.
That's great.
So are there any more questions from Piero before we close this session? If not, Piero, thank you very much for answering these questions, and we look forward to collaboration with you on an ongoing basis. And we'd like to protect Director Russo for her contribution as well. Thank you both very much indeed.
Thanks a lot to you, and have a nice evening.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.